Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. Well, my friends, I want to talk about the crypto sell-off, which has been driving a lot of pressure on the price and downward pressure, that is. And will we see a bounce this week, given that tax day is tomorrow, the final deadline? I want to talk about that, what other folks have been saying about it as well. In addition, there's some big news around Fidelity launching some major crypto ETFs, and this is getting mainstream coverage. I want to break down what that is. We also have Russia making some updates to their crypto regulations, and FTX Exchange is hosting a massive crypto event. And there's some huge names in the lineup, guys. I was actually surprised. And FTX has a lot of money and a lot of political leverage. I want to break that down. This is pretty significant in my opinion. Before we get there, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. It helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. If you haven't seen my interview with David Schwartz of Ripple from a couple of days ago, be sure to check it out. We touch on a lot, including Elon Musk and Twitter and much more. Link will be in the description. Now, quick word from our sponsor, and that is TaxBit, which is the leading tax service provider in the crypto industry. I've been using TaxBit for years. I use them again for this tax season. It really helps you to calculate your crypto gains and losses, and you can do it in real time, guys. So I have the service running year round. At any point, if I make a big trade, and I told you guys many times, I swing trade, I'm able to see my tax liabilities right away and start prepping, guys. It's a great platform. It's so easy to use. It's really plug and play, and I highly recommend it. Once again, I use it, so I can vouch for it. And I printed out my documents from TaxBit, given it to my accountant. So really great platform. If you'd like to learn more, check out the link in the description. Now let's look at the market here. Boy, not much happening. You know, everything's following Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now under $40,000. We're just seeing a lot of sell pressure right now. And obviously we've been tracking Bitcoin's retracement, right? The move to 55 to 58K, and then having an epic alt season. And that's how things have played out historically. That's not guaranteed, of course, but you know, based on the facts and the previous trends, we can form a thesis and say that is a likely probability of how things may play out. So right now, Bitcoin's close for the past week has took place, and we see a very weak green candle forming so far. We'll see if it holds up. You know, something Barry Silbert from Grayscale has been talking about for the past month, and that is tax sell-offs. So essentially, tax deadline coming up, a lot of folks are going to take or start selling stocks and crypto to gain money to be able to pay their respective capital gains for last year's trades. That is a common occurrence. I wouldn't say that's the only reason the market is down, don't get me wrong, but it is sure putting a lot of pressure, sell pressure, and downward price movement on the market. So with that said, could this week, given that tomorrow is the tax deadline, could we see a bounce upwards? I think so. But there is the likelihood that there could be continued tax sell-off, crypto sell-off. But, you know, we'll just have to wait and see and be patient. I've been in the market since 2016. I've made money, but I had to hold years and go through a lot of volatility and unknown and uncharted territory. So right now, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? And the fear and greed index is actually at fear again. So we just got to be patient. And as I've been sharing with you guys, we're following that Bitcoin retracement, and blockchain backers been tracking this very closely. So we're seeing Bitcoin just be choppy in this channel, but it is moving higher. So higher highs, higher lows within this respective timeline. And I think we could see a bounce pretty soon, and maybe Bitcoin heads to 50, 54, 55,000, at which point I'll start taking some profits again. And I'm certainly awaiting that epic alt season, guys. Fingers crossed, because that's where the majority of the money is made. And man, I sure hope this tax sell-off is done with this week, guys, and we could see some bounces upwards. So hang in there, hang tight. Just once again, have a macro perspective. And if the price bothers you, don't look at it. Guys, as someone who creates content for crypto almost every day, there's times I'll glance at the charts, but I don't take my time to like study it or get too caught up in it. Is essentially what I'm trying to say is leave your emotions at the door. If the prices are down, don't even look at the charts. You can look at the news, but you don't need to look at the prices, if it bothers you. After being here for so long, it doesn't bother me as much. In the early days, it did, because, seeing your portfolio just bounce and see big drops, it really sucks. But one thing I really learned, guys, is that you can use that volatility to your advantage with swing trading. And also I realized that the market is like a pendulum. It swings both ways. It can swing very high, but it can swing very low. So that same volatility that takes us low also takes us very high. No other market gives you this type of gains. So once you change your perspective and see the market based on its principles and data and analytics and trends, then it's not about an emotional thing. It's just being patient, take profits where you can, and you can certainly make some nice returns. Now, regardless of the price, the big players continue to make big moves. This article here on Fox Business, by the way, was published on Friday. Here's the title: Fidelity launches crypto metaverse ETFs. With this launch, Fidelity offers 51 ETFs with more than $33 billion in assets under management. See, guys, these institutional players are not worried about next week and a month from now. They're looking macro level. They know this is the macro view, the macro trade that's going to make them a lot of money, just like they've done in other markets. So let me give you the details here. Fidelity is launching 2 new thematic exchange traded funds and 5 fixed income sustainable funds and ETFs that will offer investors exposure to cryptocurrencies and metaverse industries. It says here the new funds will be available on or around April 21st, so this week. So maybe this coincides with, once again, the tax sell-off being over and completed, and then we start seeing a bounce upwards. So around April 21st, for individual investors and financial advisors to purchase commission-free through Fidelity's online brokerage platforms. The Fidelity Crypto Industry and Digital Payments ETF will invest at least 80% of its assets in equity securities included in Fidelity's Crypto Industry and Digital Payments Index and in depository receipts representing securities included in the index. The fund offers indirect exposure to cryptocurrency by investing in mining and trading, blockchain technology, and digital payment processing companies. Now imagine if Goldman Gary Gensler would stop roadblocking the crypto industry and approve a Bitcoin spot ETF, how much of this capital would flow directly to the assets, right? Remember, it starts with Bitcoin, and then there's going to be Ethereum and XRP and Cardano and Luna and whatever else, right? There's going to be ETFs, spot ETFs now, not futures, spot ETFs for each of these assets, but it has to start with Bitcoin. And there's so much capital sitting on the sidelines waiting to come in. And an ETF would be the way for a lot of these big time firms, pensions, endowments, retirement funds to enter into the crypto market, because they can't go buy it directly due to compliance and risk and regulations and all that. But if you provide an ETF, a spot ETF, boy, will they be able to invest. So hopefully the SEC can get that right. So meanwhile, the Fidelity Metaverse ETF will invest at least 80% of its assets in securities included in the Fidelity Metaverse Index and in depository receipts representing securities included in the index. The fund provides access to companies that develop, manufacture, distribute, or sell products or services related to establishing and enabling the metaverse, such as computing hardware and components, digital infrastructure, design and engineering, software, gaming technology and software, web development and content services, and smartphone and wearable technology. So you think Fidelity is scared of the price dip or the volatility? Nope. They're launching these ETFs and they're going to make a lot of money off of it because they're going to play the long game. All right, let's move ahead. This is interesting. Russia finalizing bill to legalize crypto as a form of payment. So this was reported by the Kommersant via Crypto Slate. Now, we know, guys, it's just a bit of history here. Before this whole invasion into Ukraine, that Putin was making bullish statements about crypto. He was telling the finance minister and the government to come together and start working on crypto regulations. He also said Russia had an advantage when it comes to Bitcoin mining. And then we know the whole war started, right? But during that war, what did Ukraine do? Ukraine legalized crypto and they started accepting crypto donations. It is amazing what is happening here, guys. Sometimes, it's almost like I've heard some people say all the world is a stage. Sometimes it just seems that way. And Russia is making this move, and we know game theory is going to play out with neighboring countries, doing this. Now, it's unfortunate Ukraine had to do this under the dire circumstances they're in, right? But it's still adoption, guys. It's still showing the solution crypto brings to the table, that these people who were having problems and obviously have war, right? And having all kinds of issues with their banking system and so forth, can then go to crypto. Pretty amazing what's happening, how crypto is going to change the world. So the amendment comes as interest in Russia's crypto usage and policy continues to grow. It says here, the pending legislation named On Digital Currency was initially introduced to the Russian parliament in February. Russia's central bank called for a ban on crypto mining earlier this year. Now, we go back to the timeline. They did do this, but then Putin came out and say, no, you're not going to do that. You need to legalize it and get it right. So it looks like this bill is about to get going, guys. And, the timing, if it happens this week, once again, kind of works with the market, given that maybe tax sell-off is done and we're seeing the bounce upwards. And you got Fidelity's ETFs launching this week. It's so funny how all these things happen around the same time, right? You have really bad news come when the market's down, and then you have good news when the market's found its bottom and ready to move up. You guys, make of it what you think. There's people who have conspiracy theories. It's just funny how it works. Now, look at this. Sam Bankman-Fried, CEO of FTX Exchange. We know FTX, they did a Super Bowl ad. They bought the Lakers arena, the naming rights. They've been doing mass marketing. They've been raising a lot of funds. Folks like Kevin O'Leary is involved. Anthony Scaramucci are investors, right? And then you have huge sponsorships. Steph Curry, Tom Brady. I mean, come on, some of the biggest names in sports. And they have a conference, Crypto Bahamas, coming up. And it's April 26th to the 29th. And Sam tweeted out the following image of who's going to be speaking and who's going to be in the panel. Tony Blair, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1997 to 2007. Tom Brady, President Bill Clinton. And then here, the fifth Prime Minister of Bahamas, Honorary Philip Davis. Guys, look at that lineup. Now, I know some of you, I'm not trying to get political here and so forth. Some people are going to be like, dude, war criminals and this and that. That's a separate conversation. Okay. I'm not here to talk about wars and what has happened. That's a separate debate that we can have at a different time. But I'm just showing you what is happening here and who's getting involved in crypto. These guys don't have to do this. Why the hell would Tony Blair and Bill Clinton, all these guys? Now, I know Bill Clinton has spoken at Ripple conferences and so forth. Be involved in this? Guys, it just shows that crypto is seeping into all aspects of society. They can't ignore it now. Governments are on board, whether it's current or former officials. It's amazing what's happening. And you guys have seen my interview with different members of the government, different congressmen, senators, and so forth. And I think bullish times are ahead if you are able to be patient and have the macro view. So very, very interesting, guys. And obviously, the timing of these conferences are interesting as well. Once again, could this play out into Bitcoin's retracement, that channel, right? We're moving into April and into May, and we start seeing Bitcoin over 50,000. All start popping off. We shall see. Obviously not guaranteed, but just laying out the thesis here for you guys. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Do you agree with me that maybe this week we see that pop off into a green candle for Bitcoin, all start moving as well, and then hopefully tax the tax sell-off is over. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and I'll talk to you all later.